how are you? It's good to see you. Glad you're here. Let's talk a little bit about a little something that's in Screwball, the book that I wrote about Screwball comics. This photo right here of Gene Ahern as a young man is actually taken from the original that I own. I purchased this from a dealer some time ago. And one of the neat things about it is it's autographed by Ahern. It's dedicated to an individual that I've looked up, but I haven't been able to find anything about them. And it says Kansas City, and it's got a date on it, which is 6/15/28, June 15th, 1928. And in Kansas City at that time, the Republican convention was happening. And Gene Ahern was sent there by his syndicate as I think he was the only cartoon journalist on record attending the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention that year. And he did this wonderful series of columns that ran in newspapers, prose, with some cartoon illustrations by him. And they're in the voice of Major Hoople. And it's all about Major Hoople going to the conventions, and they're just wonderful political satires, and when you read them, not much has changed really, and that makes them excellent too. It's a shame Ahern didn't write more prose because he was really good at it. Someday I'm going to collect these into a little pamphlet and publish it. I hope. I'm starting a new publishing venture called Erratic Press, and that might be something good to bring out. But in the meanwhile, you can read the article I wrote about this and some excerpts from these columns at tcj.com. I think it was 2016 when I did that. So it's still there. It's free. It's online. And it's a lot of fun. This photo doesn't have anything on the back, which means that it was not distributed through a news service. It's just a photo. This photo did appear in the newspapers, but I think Ahern liked this photo, and so he probably had copies made and sent out autographed copies to fans. And in the photo, he's holding this really weird thing here. What is that? That's an elephant. On a stick? No, it's a balloon, at least supposedly. And it's the symbol of the Democratic Party, created by a cartoonist. Who created it? You know who created it. Thomas Nast. He created the donkey for the Democrats, thanks Tom, and the elephant for the Republicans. And in the comic strip leading up, in the weeks and months leading up to the convention, Major Hoople has this brainstorm to create this product and sell it to get rich. Major Hoople has a lot of brainstorms. They almost never work out. But in this case, he did get a little bit of money, and that enabled him to attend the conventions, you see, which is where he wrote about, quote-unquote, wrote about them. So the story goes, I don't know if this is true, but this is the story that was in the newspaper accounts. The story goes that Ahern was surprised to attend the conventions sent by his syndicate and discovered there were entrepreneurs who had taken his idea from the comic strip and actually made elephant balloons, and they were selling them. I don't know if this is true. I haven't been able to find, any corroborating evidence other than these puff pieces that appeared in the newspaper. So who knows? You have to take these things with a grain of salt when you're doing historical work, and remember that a lot of this stuff was publicity oriented. So the truth was stretched a little bit. In any case, it's a great image because he's a screwball cartoonist, and this is a really screwball image. I wanted to show you one more photo of Gene Ahern that is not in the Screwball book. There it is. And this is more typical of what you're going to find. This was prepared by the news service, King Features, and it was sent out. They must have created dozens, if not, 100, couple of hundred of these, and mailed them all around to newspaper clients all across the United States and possibly Canada and other countries as well. And so what you find on the back is prepared copy that the newspaper was welcome to lift and use as an item or a caption. And I'd like to read that to you because I think it's kind of interesting. At luncheon, honoring new addition to King family. So I should explain what's going on in this photo. This is a lunch honoring Gene Ahern, celebrating his coming into the King Feature Syndicate. He had been working at a different syndicate, NEA, Newspaper Enterprise Association, located in Cleveland, and that's where he created Our Boarding House. But then Hearst hired him away to create a sort of a clone of that comic strip, which became Room and Board, starring Judge Puffle. You can read all about it in my book, Screwball. New York. An interesting trio snapped at the luncheon given April 23rd in honor of Gene Ahern, famous cartoonist who joins the staff of King Feature Syndicate with his strip Room and Board, starring Judge Puffle. Left to right are Captain Eddie Rickenbacker, World War ace. Notice they don't say World War I. This is 1936. At that time, there had just been one World War in the 20th century. And this guy flew biplanes and engaged in dogfights. So he was a daredevil and a hero. In 1936, though, he was manager of Eastern Airlines and creator of the comic strip Ace Drummond. Now, that's kind of interesting. I have no idea if what his involvement actually was in that. If anybody out there who sees this knows and you want to leave something in the comments, please inform us. Gene Ahern, new member of the King family, starting June 1st, and Prunella Wood, fashion editor of King Features. Isn't that neat? Love these things. Thank you. Take care.